Look up at the night sky, and you're looking at a pantheon. For centuries, astronomers followed a strict, unwritten rule when naming the planets. They pulled straight from Greco-Roman mythology, giving us Mars, the god of war, and Venus, the goddess of beauty. This convention was so rigid that when telescopes finally allowed us to spot new worlds, we stuck to the old script. This pale blue sphere is Uranus, discovered in 1781 and named after the ancient Greek god of the sky. We did it again in 1846. This deep purple and blue gas giant was found and promptly named Neptune, continuing the streak of framing our solar system around immortal gods. But then you step back and look at our own world. Set against the backdrop of deep space, isolated from the gas giants, it stands out in more ways than one. Unlike every other planet in our local neighborhood, the one we live on lacks a mythological title. There is no Roman deity or Greek titan hiding in its name. It is the only place we know of teeming with oceans, forests, and billions of living creatures. Yet the name we've given it is staggeringly mundane. Why does the only life-bearing planet in the universe ignore the naming conventions applied to every other world? If it wasn't named after a god, who exactly was responsible for its identity? The truth is, there was never an official naming ceremony. No single astronomer peered through a lens, discovered our planet, and assigned it a title. Instead, the word evolved organically over centuries. We can trace modern English backward into Middle English with the word earth, and further still into Old English as Eorthe. Follow those linguistic roots deep enough and you hit their Proto-Germanic ancestor, Eartho, which also gave rise to the Dutch word aarde and the German word Erde. Across all of these ancient languages, the foundational meaning is identical. None of these words describe a planet. They all translate directly to ground, soil, or dry land. The title we use for our entire global biosphere was originally invented by ancient humans, merely to describe the literal dirt beneath their boots. To understand how this happened, look at the sky the way our ancestors did. To them, the planets were unreachable points of light wandering among the fixed stars, inherently mysterious and easy to associate with the divine. The ground they walked on felt completely separate from the heavens above. They had zero reason to suspect that the flat, stable stage of everyday life was actually a celestial body itself. This diagram from the scientific revolution represents the period when the prevailing astronomical model shifted. It illustrates a new reality where the ground beneath us was finally mapped as a body moving through space alongside Mars and Jupiter. Looking at the third ring from the center, you can see Tellurus, or Earth, placed directly into the cosmic order, finally recognized as a peer to the gods. But there was a historical timing mismatch. By the time astronomers proved we inhabited a planet, the ancient, practical word for dirt was already deeply cemented into our collective vocabulary. The name Earth persists as a linguistic fossil, a record of a time before we understood our place in the cosmos. When the scientific revolution forced us to accept our place in the solar system, we didn't rename our world to match the Roman gods. Instead, we forced our old word to expand its definition. What started as a description of dry soil had to stretch into a conceptual umbrella large enough to cover a massive, spherical, atmospheric system. The evolution of the word directly mirrors the growth of our own scientific understanding. As our awareness of the universe expanded, so did the meaning of the syllables we used to describe our home. Today, the name Earth operates as a permanent, living artifact of our agrarian ancestors. Long before we were spacefarers tracking orbits or astronomers building telescopes, our primary relationship with reality was based purely on the harvest and the soil. In the end, our planet's unepic name is its greatest feature. It proves that no matter how deep humanity peers into the cosmos, our language will always keep us rooted to the ground we came from.